Hello, and welcome to the Hermosa Beach Parks Master Plan Workshop 2 video. My name is Zachary Meading, and I'll guide you through the presentation. To begin, the purpose of the Hermosa Beach Parks Master Plan is to develop an actionable management and development for parks and recreation programs and facilities here in the future. Most importantly, this plan will identify local community needs and develop goals and strategies for park improvements, as well as a financial analysis plan and ultimately recommendations to continue the development of Hermosa Beach community parks and recreation. The process that we'll go through will consist of 5 stages. First, an inventory of the existing conditions, getting the lay of the land. Then, we'll go through an extensive community engagement process where we listen to you, the community. We balance those two elements and start to weigh the scales and identify a needs analysis based on the differences between the inventory and the community desires for parks and recreation. Ultimately, that will yield the recommendations, and then we'll follow up with funding and implementation for those community recommendations. The project will take approximately 15 months to complete. Right now, we're relatively in the middle in August at workshop number 2. We'll continue to collect community input for the rest of the community outreach phase, and then move into the reporting phase, ultimately deliver a final product. As I had mentioned before, going through the inventory of existing conditions, it includes going through all the existing documentation to make sure there are no conflicts with existing reporting and analysis that has been conducted thus far. We also go through all of the park facilities. We tour every one of them so we can understand what exactly is out there and what condition it's in. We also go through an extensive program inventory, as well as look at the demographics of the community. What we found out of that inventory so far is throughout Hermosa Beach, there are community parks, 6 neighborhood parks, 4 parkettes, an extensive green belt, and 8 green spaces, beach, pier, plaza areas, as well as recreation facilities. Understanding what Hermosa Beach has in terms of parks and facilities is just part of the equation. We also look at where they exist. You can see here along the far west edge of the plan, there exists the ocean and the beachfront communities, the green belt going through the middle of the community, as well as several parks scattered throughout. This helps us identify where the parks are and where people are. Where are the homes? How do people recreate? So as we move through this process, when we hear from you, we'll make sure we identify and look through different lenses of where people are, where parks are, and where needs might be, and how we can fulfill those needs. We also go through the inventory programs. To date, we've found youth and adult services, classes, community events, health and well-being programs, organized sporting events, outdoor recreation programming, community facility rentals, senior programming, as well as special need programs. Looking at the demographics, we see a population in 2021 of just under 20,000 residents. Looking at that demographic breakdown, we see that 46% are within the ages of 35 to 64. We also look at this in terms of the county average. Looking at the dotted line there, you can see that 26% people from 20 to 34, as well as 46% of the population, 35 to 64, are above those county averages. Inverse, the youngest population, 19 years and younger, 16% are actually lower than the county average. Now, this is just one lens we use to look at the community in terms of what recreation programs might suit different age groups. This brings us to the community outreach. Utilizing extensive community outreach, we'll go through project website feedback comments, stakeholder interviews, one-on-one interviews with key officials throughout the community, in-person workshops, online and paper surveys, multimodal surveys, as well as pop-up events. So that way we can truly reach out to the community in as many ways as possible and hear from you and your ideas on parks and recreation. Looking at some of the information we've collected, one of those modes were the statistically valid multimodal survey. And in this, we looked at the geographic distribution. You can see all of the dots on the right-hand side of this map are distributed throughout the entire community. This gives us a good distribution of information. What we heard from those participants are 81% are satisfied with the maintenance of parks and recreation facilities in Hermosa Beach. That's a very high number. 48% of those get their news and information about the city, parks, recreation facilities, and programs and services through the city's website. And then 76% of those participants are satisfied with the recreation facilities programs provided by the city of Hermosa Beach. Our first workshop was held on June 27th. Following that workshop, an online survey was available to the community for 2 weeks. We received 86 total surveys completed during this effort. You can see we also look at the distribution of community members and information received, and we see a good distribution across the entire community. Some of the information collected during Workshop 1 revolved around community characteristics, issues that might impact those community characteristics, and what role can Community Services Department play to address those issues. And what we heard from the participants of our outreach effort for Workshop number 1 were those community characteristics included small town feel, the beach, the ocean, walkability, community, parks, outdoors, events, safety, and restaurants. Issues that may be negatively impacting those community characteristics included e-bike rules, lack of dog parks, parking, homeless, pedestrian street safety, lack of funding. And the role, according to the participants of the workshop, that the Community Services Department can do to play in addressing those issues included having more community engagement, additional pickleball, providing dog areas, enforcing e-bike rules, maintenance, communications, and more events. I encourage you to visit the website shown here. On that website, you can find information as we go along. We'll be reposting information that we've heard from the community, so you can follow along if you happen to miss a community workshop. At any point in time, you can click on the feedback button and have your voice heard. That information will be directly transmitted to the design and planning team, so that way everybody has an opportunity to share their thoughts and ideas along the way. The success of this master planning effort is based on you, the community, in your voice. I encourage you to take the survey on the link clicked below. If you're outside of the survey window, please share your thoughts and ideas through the feedback button or future opportunities. Remember to attend Workshop 3 coming up in October, as well as check on the project website for future opportunities, as well as project updates along the way. If you're looking to receive further updates on the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, you can see here we have a number of different ways. You can email the project manager directly, you can visit the project website, or follow along on the city's e-newsletter. Click or scan the QR codes below to stay along with us and follow the development of the Parks and Recreation Master Plan for Hermosa Beach. Thank you for watching this video presentation. I encourage you to share the information with your friends, neighbors, as well as family members, so that way everybody can take part in the future development of Hermosa Beach Parks and Recreation. Make sure to click the link down below to have your voice heard. If you're seeing this video outside of our survey window, check on the project website. There will be a feedback option as well as more information on how to get involved.